Good afternoon, friends. My name is Dipalee Arun Gawai, Government B.Ed College Akola. So, in this B.Ed internship, 4 semester internship, we have teach on your Jizau Girls Schools Akola. So, today we have teach on the standard 8th standard subject English. So, in this English subject, today we have learned a very interesting prose. So before teach the course, I would like to ask some questions to you. So in the last period, we have discussed about a very interesting prose named the unsinkable ship. Means the ship we never sink in a water. So in this ship, we have learned some important information about the ship. So I would like ask some questions related to the yesterday's online class. Okay, so can you tell me how many passengers are travel in a Titanic ship?
2000 passengers.
Yes, that is 2000 passengers. Can you tell me what do you mean by Titanic?
Titanic means huge.
Yes, Titanic means huge, means that is biggest. So can you know what it is called a huge or Titanic? Because the building is the height of this Titanic ships is like a 15 stories building. It is a very luxurious and richest ships because it is the finest ships or the best ships in the world, because it has a dining room, it has also a swimming pool, all types of luxurious facilities are available for the passenger in a Titanic ship. Okay, so we have learned this the unsinkable ship means the about the Titanic ship in a last period. So in today's period, we have talked a previous lesson, the unsinkable ship. Then come the night of 14 April. The sky was clear and she was calm. Many of the passengers were asleep. Means some passengers are asleep and some passengers are awake. Captain Smith knew that there were icebergs nearby, so he told a man to keep a watch from the top of the ship. Suddenly, at 11:40 p.m., the man saw something. He grew cold with fear. A huge iceberg stood right in the path of the Titanic. Iceberg, he yelled. Means that was, he was said so loudly with the fear that an iceberg stood right in the path of the Titanic. Captain Smith fought hard to steer the Titanic away from the iceberg, but the ship changed direction slowly and her side cracked the mountain of ice. A slow shower of ice fell on the decks and the iceberg cut holes among the ship's sides. Water began to pour into our lower decks. Most passengers had nothing and slept on. Captain Smith, when the man who watched to the ship for the iceberg, he said very loudly that the iceberg had stood up in the path of the Titanic. So he informed the captain of the ship named Captain Smith. So Captain Smith tried to convert the path of the Titanic ship. So he changed the direction slowly. But we know it is a huge ship. It is a Titanic ship. That's why it is very difficult to change fastly. So he turned it slowly and her side cracked. The side of the Titanic are cracked and it become a hole to the Titanic ship. So the water is pure in a Titanic ship and a ship sides are damaged. Water became poured into a lower decks. Most passengers heard nothing and slept on. Many passengers heard that is there are some critical situation in a ship, but they feel that we are safe and it nothing to be happened on the ship, so they are slept away. Captain Smith and his crew could not stop the water floating through the ship. They knew the Titanic was great danger. The unsinkable ship was sinking at 12:15 a.m. Captain Smith sent urgent message on the ship's radio asking for help. Help, Titanic sinking, some quickly help. He says like that a message. Then he ordered the crew to wake all of the passengers up. So we have know the ship named the unsinkable ships because the ships which never to be seen. So when an iceberg are stored to the Titanic ship, the ships become a hole on it and the water is poured on the ships, and that's why the ship try to sink. When the Captain Smith and all the crew, all the members on this group try to not unsinkable the ships, but he can't do it. So he take a message for help. He says, help, Titanic was sinking, so we need to help. But the radio layers are cannot going for his help, and he didn't get any type of help for the passengers. So he say all the members to go and wake up to the all passengers, because the Titanic ship, the world finest ship, the best ships are in danger, because we are going to the sink at the time of 12:15 a.m. A ship called the California was only the 20 miles away. Okay, the next again a biggest ships named California was just 20 miles away from this Titanic ships, but she did not receive Titanic's message. Her radio was turned off and radio operator was asleep. In that time, when a Titanic ship was sinking, in that time, just 20 miles away, a next huge ship named California is present there. But when a radio message for helping from the Titanic, it cannot receive by the California, because the radio was off, as well as the radio operator man was also asleep. That's why he cannot take the he cannot receive the message from the Titanic. That's why California could not help to the passenger on the Titanic ship. Another ship called the Carpathia heard the Titanic's call and sails a full speed toward her. Unfortunately, the Carpathia was far away, and she took over 3 hours to reach the Titanic. Okay, so in this ocean there are many ships are traveling at the time of the Titanic, as well as Titanic, and the nearest ship of the Titanic named a California, it is just as 3 miles away, means that's why he can reach in just a 20 or 30 minutes for the Titanic, but he cannot receive the message that's called from the Titanic. That's why he can't come there and can't help her. Again a next ship named Carpathia was get the message of the Titanic, so he took very speedily near to the Titanic, but unfortunately it is too far away. It is too long away from the Titanic. That's why he take minimum 3 hours to take over the Titanic ships. Meanwhile, the Titanic was sinking rapidly. The crew lowered lifeboats into the ship, but there was only enough space in a boat for a few hundred passengers. The Titanic had more than 2,000 people on board. The ship began to tilt into a sea. People began to jump from the decks into a ice cold water. So there is no other help for the Titanic ship. That's why, because the Titanic was rapidly sinking. Rapidly means it is so fast. So what it is going to sinking. The crew lower a lifeboats into a ship, because the builder who construct or who built the Titanic ship, he was very sure that is it never to be sink. So he take a very few lifeboats on the ships, and in this lifeboat it is a little space for just only 100 people. Means in a boat just only 100 people are traveling on the boat, but on the Titanic ship we know that there are more than 2,000 people are traveling on the ship. That's why it is not a space for a not a space on a boat for the all peoples. So the people that know that is the ships are sinking, they are jumping on a ice cold water to save her life. With its lights still shining, the Titanic stood upright for a few minutes. Then at 2:20 a.m. on 15 April, she vanished into a sea. About 1,500 people drowned. Captain Smith and most of his crew went down with the ship. So the events of this Titanic ship on 12 April 1912, the problem or the danger are started in the midnight of 14 April, and after that a 12:20 to 2:20 a.m. So on that time the Titanic ships are going to the sink. So more than 1,500 people, means that is 1,500 people are drowned in the ship Titanic, and also a Captain Smith and his crew, means his team members who are working on the Titanic ships, they are also going to the went down on the sea from there with the Titanic ship. The Carpathia arrived at 3:40 a.m. The ship's crew found the lifeboat and saved 700 people in them. They also found chairs and pieces of wood floating on the water. But almost of the people in the water had drowned and died of cold. The Carpathia was too late to save them. Okay, so here we have see the next helping ship named Carpathia are coming too fast or too rapidly to save the people on the Titanic ships, but it is too far, so it take too many time to complete there, to reach there. That's why when more than 1,500 people are sinking in the water, it become in 2:20 a.m. and Carpathia are coming is 3:40 a.m. He he tried to save more than 700 people, but most of the people are died or sink into a Titanic ship. Okay, and some peoples are also died to a very cold water because the temperature of this water are below 0 degree. That's why no one can save in that ice cold atmosphere. Carpathia was tried to save many people, but it is too late. He cannot he cannot save much people because it take a more time to come there. The sinking of the Titanic made people think harder about the safety of passengers of ship. They asked why ships carry such few lifeboats and why they turn off their radios. The sinking means when the Titanic ship are sinking, the people think too harder. Why? A very few lifeboats are carrying them because they thought the builder of this Titanic ships are things, and it is very sure that these Titanic ships are never to be sink or it never to be danger to all passengers. That's why he carry a few lifeboats with her. But if he carry more than a lifeboats with them, we can save many peoples on the Titanics. Also, why they turn off their radios? Some the radios also turn off. That's why it is difficult to give messages for the helping. In 1930, it was decided that all the ships must have enough room in their lifeboats to carry everyone on board. It was also decided that ships must keep their radios working every hour on the day and night. So after a deadly accident of the uh, Titanic ships, he thought that to carry much lifeboats with the ships also uh, carry more than uh, safeties also continuously turn on a radios in a day or a night to in a danger condition or in a critical condition to save the passengers. Okay, so that is the a very sad or a tragedy story of a Titanic ship. So the Titanic ships is began to sink at 2:20 a.m. The Titanic sink and a Carpathia arrived because these ships are so far from the Titanic. That's why he take he take much time to come there. So after that, this deadly accident of the Titanic ships, the thinker are very hard to decide for the security on the ship. In 1985, scientists sent a submarine to look for the wreck of the Titanic. They found a ship lying in two pieces on the ocean floor at the depth of around 4,000 meter, means 13,000 feet. Later they took photographs of the wreck and brought small parts of it to the surface of the water. So in the Titanic was sunk in 1912 after many years, means 1985. A submarine was sent and to see the surfaces of the Titanic ships. So when the scientists in 1985 sent a submarine to in the search of the Titanic, when he goes in the deepest in 13,000 feet, he saw the Titanic was turned into a two pieces and a small pieces of wood are floating on the water. So the peoples are going in a submarine. We take some photographs of the Titanic ship. There are many stories of bravery that the terrible night in April 1912. In 1998, the director James Cameron made a famous film of the Titanic's maiden voyage. It is very sad film because the end of this story are very tragedy because there are so many people are died into the voyage. So it is very sad film. Almost everyone who see the film leaves the cinema in tears because they feel very sad. They are tears, they are crying to see the story of this Titanic. Okay student, so mention the points, then we have looked the homework. So student, that is the very sad and tragedy story of the unsinkable ship named Titanic. Okay. So students, we know that how is the ships are traveling in Atlantic Ocean, how he is struck and it get accident by the iceberg, and how the people are died or sinking in a Titanic ship. Many ships named California is near to the Titanic ship, but it cannot be helped. And the second ship, Carpathia, are come in 340 because it is too far. So he take a lot of time to come there. That's why he cannot save many people. So student, that is the story, a sad story of a Titanic ships. Okay. So I hope students you all like, enjoy and understand the lesson name the unsinkable ships. Okay, so student, here write down the homework. So write down the reason of sinking Titanic. So that is the homework for you. Write down the homework. Write down the reason of sinking of a Titanic ship. That is the homework for you, student. Write down in your notebook and complete it, and then show me it tomorrow. So student, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.